Gonna be running Pokemon Gold any %, and just watch this. Just watch it.
That's not the one. I don't want to be the right one. Whenever you're ready.
I'm good to go when you are.
Alright.
I'll give you guys a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome everybody. So unfortunately it seems that the runner was delayed, so we're going to be doing a last minute replacement run. So we're going to be running Pokemon Gold any %. Now, this run has two different routes. I'm going to be doing the slightly more marathon safe route. There is also another route which relies on a specific trainer ID, but that's a 1 in 64 to work, so that's not particularly consistent for marathon runs. Now the first roughly, well, good 40 minutes of the run is pretty much glitchless, and then we'll be beating the game really quickly. So right off the bat, we're gonna go talk to Mom here. This is where we get to set our day and the, daylight savings and whatnot. It's not particularly important. Really all that we need is that it's gonna be on Sunday, because we need that for a move that we need later on. I'm gonna say no on daylight saving times. That saves 4 frames in total. It's very important save there. And with that, we're gonna pick up our starter Pokemon. Now, I've always been a great fan of the Gen 2 starter Pokemon. I think most of them are amazing. We're gonna be going with probably the most overpowered starter in this game, and that's gonna be Totodile. Of course, the professor has to, talk forever about his Pokemon and giving us a partner. We're actually on an assignment to help him investigate, or there was some discovery done, and he's asked to help investigate, but he can't go there himself, so he sends us as a messenger. I saved there just in case my stats turn out to be horrible. In a glitchless run, I would go for 12 attack, 11 special defense, and preferably 10 speed. I can afford a bit more in this run, but there are some stats that you just don't want to go with it, because it's really annoying to run with it. So let's see what let's see what we got. Wow. Okay, menus, please. That is actually near perfect stats. I would take that in a glitchless run even. 12, 12, 10, 11, 10 is near perfect. Every stat can be perfect right now except for my attack, which can be everything but the most optimal stat. So it can still be ridiculously good. So since we have our good stats, we're gonna head on to the professor, see what he has to say. I mean, he did invite Professor Elm there to see about some kind of discovery, so maybe he has something to say. Maybe we can help him with it a bit. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, well, that's not bad. Average on that route is 2 encounters, so only getting 1 isn't too bad either. This is, we're off to a pretty decent start here. Now, an interesting thing to note there, had I seen during the naming of my Pokemon that it was a female, I would have instantly had to reset. The stats in this game are kind of weird when it comes to female Pokemon, in that it's a very sexist game in that. It's, if you get a female, the maximum attack stat depends on the ratio male-female. And since it's a 1 in 8 here, it means I can only get the 2 lowest stats, which is not ideal for a speedrun. It's not on me, but it's the game that for some reason decided that. So we're gonna go up here, and before we're actually going to talk to the professor, I'm gonna pick up one little item here. It's hidden in these, in between these flowers. There we go. That's a potion. That's just a bit of a safety item for later. Early on, I'll be needing quite a bit of healing, and that can definitely help a lot in that. So let's see what he has to say. So we meet the professor and this weird guy here. It turns out they found a Pokemon egg. Now, in Gen 1, Pokemon eggs weren't in the game. They weren't introduced until this game. So what they did is to introduce the players to that concept of Pokemon eggs and breeding Pokemon, is they actually show you the egg here, and you're forced to obtain it later. So you actually get your first egg for free. We're not actually going to be seeing it hatch, because first of all, that's slow, and second of all, by the time it would, we will have already beaten the game. But, you know, still... So we get a default heal there. We didn't really need it, and as soon as we step outside, the professor calls us. I mean, we've discovered an egg, but that's not what he's calling about. It turns out somebody broke into the lab and stole a Pokemon. I mean, since he's kind of just handing out Pokemon, I don't think stealing is the best way to do it. Definitely don't steal, kids. It's not good. But, you know, it's not the most efficient way of getting your Pokemon, I would assume. Still, a Pokemon was stolen, so let's see if we can come over and help. Because we're good kids, you know? So this tree here, this is also the first gen where they introduced both the health items as well as the berries. So we're gonna pick up some berries along the way. That's just to, you know, get some additional healing, as well as allow us to heal in battles. Without actually having to waste a turn, which is very, very helpful for some upcoming fights. And now we're gonna go into a fight with a trainer. We don't know him yet. He does introduce himself, but it just stays as question marks for the time being. And this is apparently the guy, we don't know that yet, but this is the guy that stole a Pokemon, and he stole a Chikorita. Let's see if we can beat the Chikorita. So I'm gonna leer once here. Unfortunately, he growled, but that's so, yeah, you know, that's so be it. So let's scratch again. We basically just have to try to beat this Chikorita. It's not a particularly difficult fight generally. Well, I took off the berry. Right at the start, I took off the berry, because you don't really need the berry for this fight. And I need that berry for later. So berryless it is. So yeah, that's gonna give us level 6, and that's gonna show me how good my stats are. Oh, okay, that's okay. So we have got really, really good special, maxed out special, or second best possible stat out of 16 potential DVs. So every stat has a random value assigned to it between 0 and 15. And ideally you want it to be as high as possible. My special is 14 or 15, so that's about as high as it's gonna get. My attack is pretty average, somewhere between 7 and 10, I believe. So that's still okay, and the same goes for defense. Speed at this point doesn't really matter anymore, it's not gonna make a difference in this run. So as soon as we enter the lab, turns out there is some police officer talking to the professor, getting the report ready. Now we can tell him his name. We're gonna just name him A, because it's fast. You have to rename the rival. Unlike in Pokemon, or in pretty much every other Pokemon, you don't get some default options you can go for. Here you actually have to rename him. We also show the professor the Pokemon egg, and that supposedly is a big deal. And he offers us to go to to take on the Pokemon League. Well, that seems fair. We need to collect some badges for that, though, so let's go start with that. So, with that out of the way, it's on our way to Violet City and the first gym. There will be a few fights I'm gonna be saving before Hammer, yes. There's a couple pretty big run killers in this game. So for a glitchless run, there's generally 3 big run killers. That's Bugsy, Rival 2, which is the next rival fight, and there is the Whitney fight. Now, by the time we would get to Whitney, we'll already have beaten the game, so that's not gonna matter. But the other two are still there, so I will be saving before both of those. Okay, let's go. So on our way to Violet City, I am going to pick up a second berry. That's just for the safety of it. I don't really need a cut slave or anything, because I can teach cut later to Totodile, so I won't have to look for that. I will, however, have to look for a Wooper later. We can't catch that on this route. Oh wow, that's 4 encounters on this route. This is really unlucky right now. Like I said, average for this route is 2, so we've already doubled the average amount of encounters, and we're only halfway through. That's RNG, I suppose. RNGesus giveth and RNGesus taketh. So yeah, this has another berry. That's just another heal item. And with that, we're gonna be moving on. So earlier, we couldn't move on to the left path because there were some trainers fighting there, and they were just blocking off the path. Now that we've delivered the egg, we can actually pass there. We will have to fight a couple trainers, but we kind of need those levels as well. So this is the first one. This youngster has got 2 Pokemon. He starts off with a level 2 Pidgey, which, I mean, that's lower level than most of the Pidgeys you'd encounter randomly. And he's got a level 4 Rat, neither of which are really a big deal at all. We'll just see if we can beat them. Now the damage I take here kind of matters. Oh wow, I didn't get 2-shot on that. That is very uncommon not to get a 2-shot. That is... I've had it happen a few times, but it's very, very rare. Okay, tail whip fail, that's good. Ideally that tail whip fail, we'd like to see that. Also, I'm in a speed tie with the rat, so the rat can potentially outspeed me at times, but might not. It's a 50-50. Okay, level 7. Stats are looking pretty decent. I'm completely fine with these stats. We can definitely beat the game with this. So, with that being said, let's head on. So this is where we're gonna meet our first spinner. So Gen 2 also introduced the spinner mechanics. There are some trainers that randomly... actually, I need to... At this point, it doesn't save a lot, but... So there are some trainers that turn in a random way, and it's not completely random. I got lucky there that the trainer got stuck, so I could pass really easily. But basically how the spinners work is if they're looking up or... like up and left and right and down are basically tied. So whenever he's looking left, it's risky to pass him up. Since he was stuck in this case, it was completely fine to pass him. But you'll see me wait even if he's not looking directly at me at times, just to increase my chances of avoiding the spinner. And with that, we're in the first town. Now, I'm not one for grinding. You know, it's slow, it's boring, so we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna immediately head into the gym. I feel good about this. We can do this. Now, I do have a couple berries, so, you know, let's heal up that 4 health. I don't think I need that 4 health, but let's play it safe. And this is not a fight I should lose, but I have lost it before. You pretty much need to get crit twice here in order to lose. I mean, the last time it happened, it was also in a race, and I did save beforehand, so, I mean, it has saved me before. Okay, so this guy, he just has a Spearow, and, you know, it's a level 9 Spearow against my level 7 Totodile, so that's not great. But we have a very overpowered move called Rage. And what Rage does in this game is every time I get hit, my attack pretty much doubles. So I got hit there, so now I'll be doing significantly more damage. He attacks again. So this is, by the way, what the berry is for. Because now I'm below 6, he would kill me, but I used the berry to recover, and we're completely fine again. And then this, and that should kill him. So that was the Spearow done. Not a particularly difficult fight. And I am going to heal up again. And what we're also going to be doing is equipping this berry. This is a very special berry, the bitter berry. It removes confusion if I were to get confused at any point. There's about 4 trainers coming up, I believe, that can confuse me in the fairly near future. So we just equip that to be ready for just that. He's gonna send out another Pidgey. So this guy is 2 Pidgeys, not a difficult fight, basically the same strat as before. We just rage, hope to actually get hit by his tackles, and we start dealing increasingly more damage. So yeah, that's what you get if you get hit twice in a row. That is a lot of damage. I have a potion, so the damage isn't too relevant, and since I level here, I start only taking 3 damage and 5 on a critical. And since I 2-shot him, I shouldn't be able to die here. That's the power of Rage, and you can see how overpowered that move is in Gen 2. Very, very powerful move. Now, this is not the kind of health I'm comfortable going into the gym leader fight. So I'm gonna use my remaining potion, heal up again, and we'll go for the first gym. So I think an average Faulkner time would be roughly about 16.5 to 17. So we're on an okay pace. This is definitely not looking terrible. Okay, so this fight, same as all the others, we're just gonna rage and hope for the best. That's gonna get us level 10. So if my health was high enough after the Pidgey fight, I can risk to not heal, knowing that I will get that level up there, getting me an extra bit of health. But my HP was way too low to do that. So yeah, this is the first gym leader down. That's really all there is to it. That's Faulkner. Now, before I go into Union Cave, which is coming up shortly, I need 2 things. I need to have seen a Bellsprout, and I need to have caught a Wooper. That is something that can cost you a lot of time in a run if you get unlucky, because you need those 2 encounters in order to complete this. In my PB, I lost like 1.5 minutes just on finding a Wooper, and it's frequently lost me minutes in runs altogether. Like, it can be really dumb. Before we can actually go there, though, Professor is going to call us about that egg, which we're going to have to pick up. Now, conveniently enough, picking up that egg is right here in the Pokemon Center, so that makes for a really quick way to heal, which is nice since we're running low on PP and healing items. So I'm going to heal here. Let's actually say yes to him. That might be convenient. So you need to pick up that egg. If you don't pick up the egg, later on you'll get blocked. I remember when I was first playing this as a kid, I could never figure out what I needed to do here. Granted, I couldn't read English and I never bothered talking to NPCs, but it took me quite a couple hours to figure out that that's what I needed to do. Gonna get another berry here. That's a paralyzed cure berry, which you may have guessed it cures paralysis, which, yeah, it really does. It's really convenient for one fight later on. There's really only one for which I need it. Okay, and then we're gonna fight this guy. Now, this guy can be a jerk. It is ridiculous how dumb this fight can be. I've only died on this guy once. He's got a rat. The rat isn't the big deal. But his second poke is a Zubat, and that Zubat has the ability to confuse you. Now, the first time he would confuse me, and keep in mind, confusion is 55% to hit. I believe it's 55%. So, even if he were to confuse me, I have the Bitterberry, so I'd get rid of the confusion instantly. But if he were to confuse me twice in a row, and then I would hit myself in confusion 3 times in a row, he would win the fight. So yeah, this confusion doesn't matter too much. I lose the Bitterberry, which is kind of annoying, but I don't really mind too much. So yeah, that's Albert. That can be a trolley fight, but it generally isn't. Losing the berry can be a bit of a pain, but we should be good. So there's a hidden super oh wow, I actually get it. Okay. I'm gonna pick up a hidden super potion here. Oh nice, I need that whooper anyway. So there's a hidden super potion here. Generally in runs you don't pick it up. But since I'm kind of low on healing items and this is a marathon run, I'm gonna play it super safe and actually pick up that super potion. So yeah, this is the other poke I need. I still need to see a Bellsprout before I'm out. Nice, first ball. So yeah, like I said, normally in a run you would just take the left path because it's faster to go here, especially since there's a lot of grass tiles and you need to look for the whooper anyway. But due to marathon safety, we're opting to pick up an extra heal item there. And there's the Bellsprout, nice. That is pretty good RNG, getting those first two encounters. If only it was that. This route is a couple minutes slower than the trainer ID route, but it's just a lot more consistent. So this is definitely not record pace by any means. Plus my box naming is not good enough for that. That actually matters, being able to rename boxes quickly. So this is a guy, I never trust him. He's got one poke, it's an Onyx, and it can just, you know, we don't have Water Gun yet, so it can wreck you if you get unlucky. We just passed him though. And that brings us into this hiker. Now this hiker is a spinner in Crystal, but it's a forced fighting gold. This guy's got 3 Geodudes, a level 4, level 6, and level 8. And like I said, we don't have Water Gun yet. So, that being said, we're gonna rage this guy, because that works. You'll see how little damage I do here. This is one of the slowest fights in the game. But getting Water Gun is not ideal considering I don't have the Bitterberry. There is an extra trainer you can fight to get that experience, and it ends up being roughly even. But in this case, since I lost the Bitterberry, it's not worth it for me to go for that. Okay, so he sent out his level 6 Geodude second. That's actually not best case scenario. We want to see the level 8, because that way we 2-shot the level 6. Now they're both a 3-shot, I believe. Okay, so this is the last Geodude. Should go down in 3 hits, 2 if I crit. And this fight will get me Water Gun. You learn Water Gun at level 13, so we're almost there. That is unfortunate, but that's not a big deal. It loses 8 seconds to not get the range, but I've never actually been able to kill that in 2 turns, I don't think. So yeah, there's Water Gun. Now there's 2 more trainers that we're gonna have to pass. One of them is a spinner, that's this guy over here. He is not a terrible spinner to hit, but, you know, ideally we'd still not hit him, because fighting an extra trainer is... Okay, that can happen. That happens. I believe it's a 12.5% for him to turn like that. It's a bit unlucky, but this guy's got 2 coughings, both of them go down in 2 hits. So it's not a terribly long fight, and I kind of needed experience. I would have killed a random encounter if it wasn't for this one. You need a little bit of experience to get an extra level up, which saves a bit of time later on. But yeah, spinners in this game are notorious for doing stuff like this. In a glitchless run of this, you'd have to pass, I believe, 11 spinners. Some of which multiple times like this one, some of which only once. So you can see how spinners can lose a lot of time in a run. Regardless, we're going to be picking up this axe attack over there. The axe attack is to up my happiness a bit. That seems completely irrelevant because, you know, it's just happiness, whatever. But we actually need enough happiness to get the return TM later. Now, using items like an axe attack actually will add to that as well, so we can just do that. And then there's this guy. This guy only has one poke, it's a Vulpix. So, it's fire against water. I think we know who's gonna win that. So yeah, I can't actually one-shot this unless I get a critical. You'll see when I use the water gun that it gets close, but it's not enough. And this is with, I believe, perfect special. Oh wow, the burn is kind of unfortunate. Since I got the burn, I'm gonna be saving before the next spinner, because I don't want to fight that not burned, at least. This guy can also be a bit of a pain. So we skip that. That is the second, or the before last spinner that we would have to pass. So we're pretty much done with spinners for a while. There's one more in the next gym. So this is Kurt. This guy makes Pokeballs. But Team Rocket has taken over Slowpoke well and is cutting off their tails. Yes, they're selling Slowpoke tails for whatever reason. That apparently is worth a lot of... It's worth a lot of money. So I think I'm just gonna go for the center. This is a bit slower. It's definitely faster to use heal items. But since I go in here to set a warp for myself anyway, I might as well. In a glitchless run, you're actually forced not to take the center here because of a warp that you do later. But since this isn't glitchless and we won't be going that far into the game, I'm not gonna have to bother for that here. So if we finally get to buy repels, which is also nice. This is the first time where you get to buy repels. Now, I need 3 for both Elex Forest and the Road to Goldenrod, and I'm not actually going to be using one down here in Slowpoke well. The reason for that is the encounter rate here is very, very low, and it takes about half an encounter to use a repel, and average is about half an encounter. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's better to save that 350 gold, use that for something more efficient than use it here, which is why we generally don't bother with it. The most I've ever had in a run was 2 encounters here, so even that is not particularly bad. So yeah, there's a couple rockets that we need to kill. So Kurt went to the well to stop Team Rocket, and then when he got down here, he tripped and sprained his ankle. Because of which he's unable to do it, so he asks us to do it instead. I mean, it's not a big deal, they're Team Rocket. Like, the Rocket guys are always scrubs, we all know that, but... Okay, scratch the part about not getting encounters here. This is, like I said, half an encounter is about average. So at the end of the day, it just isn't worth to repel. It would have saved time for this run, though. But so be it. So this is one of the more trolly rockets. She's got an Ekans and she's got a Zubat. She leads with a Zubat. Now, I'm not protected against confusion anymore because I had to use my Bitterberry earlier. So we're just gonna have to hope to not get confused. There's a Leech Life, but I think I still kill with this special. Yeah, cool. So that's the worst of the 2 down. Now the Ekans can control a bit as well. It can poison me, which is obviously annoying because I'd have to heal. Not to mention it does a ton of damage. It can wrap me. Oh, nice crit. Nice crit there. That saves a turn. That was a really good second rocket fight. Very happy with that. That's good. With that, we're gonna go into the last of the trolley rockets. There's 2 more rockets to fight. The last one is pretty much free if you have enough health. This one has got 2 Zubats though, so it's definitely not free. So he's gonna lead with a rat. Now the rat isn't such a big deal. I don't mind the rat much. But after that, he's got 2 Zubats. Oh, nice crit. That doesn't kill unless it's a crit, by the way. That's not even a range. You just don't kill if it's not a crit. Oh, definitely. There is the 2 hardest fights I still have to do.
Fights, just crits all over.
So yeah, these Zubats will go down in 2 hits. The first one went without any trouble, and so did the second one. We good? So yeah, I've got enough health. This last fight is completely free right now. This guy's got 1 poke. It's a coughing. Now the coughing can do quite a bit of damage, but it can't actually kill me, and there's a forced heal right after this fight. So whatever happens, you know, we're always going to be fine. He can crit me, he can poison me, he can do a lot of nasty stuff, but on 33 I should be pretty safe. So there's a poison. So yeah, that's 5 damage. Smog miss, nice. The Smog does 10 on a critical, but even then I would have had 13. He would have gotten 1 more attack and I would have lived on 3 if that would have crit as well. So yeah, that's the coughing down. And with that, we're done with the Slowpoke Well. So I think we only have 5 trainers left that we need to do. That's pretty much all we still have left for this game. Now, like I said, the 2 hardest fights are still coming up. Generally, we like to say that there's 3 really, really bad fights in this game. There is Rival 2, there is Whitney, and there's Bugsy. This is Bugsy's gym. No, I fight her first. You fight the right one first if you still have the Bitter Berry, but you fight the left one first if you don't. It's just minor stuff, really. Okay, so the scary face is annoying because that means I'm slower than a Spinnerack. He can do another one and now the Ladybug will outspeed me. That's a bit unfortunate because the Ladybug does have Supersonic. So this is the last fight that could troll me with Confusion, pretty much, and I get the Confusion. This is not good. Okay, we beat through. We actually need to hit another time. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was supposed to scratch on the first turn there. That was on me. It's been a while since I've done glitchless parts of this, so... Okay, it's all good though. So we're gonna fight this trainer. This guy's got 2 pokes. This is a really easy fight. He's got a Weedle and a Caterpie. Now the worst thing that could happen is the Weedle poisoning me. Hopefully that won't. So let's see what he throws at me. So we're gonna start off with a water gun. These are all guaranteed 2 shots. Now, you'll notice that I won't act, like, in Gen 2, evolutions are a bit different with starters than in oh, nice crit again! It's a bit different than in any other Pokemon gen. The Totodile doesn't actually evolve at 16, he evolves at level 18, and then evolves a second time at level 32. Come on, can you move out of the way, Benny? This guy is not a spinner I'd like to hit. past him. Heal up. I can use a super, whatever. Now, this is Bugsy. This is one fight that can be a little dangerous, so I am going to save up. Because of the X attack, it's not as dangerous as it normally is, but it can still be a little bit risky, so we're not gonna take any risks here. So Bugsy is 3 Pokemon, Metapod, Kakuna, and Scyther. Now, I'm going to rely on both the Metapod and the Kakuna to actually deal damage on me. Turn 1 Harden is fine, but now I want them to deal damage here, because that's going to increase my Rage, which makes Scyther a lot easier. Okay, that's a good tackle. And another good tackle, there we go, we in there. Okay, this is good, that's a good Metapod. So yeah, the Scyther the Metapod doesn't do a lot of damage with his tackles. The Scyther would do a significant amount of damage. So yeah, this is Kakuna. Kakuna is pretty free because of that triple tackle. He gets a hit off, does not poison me, so that's a really good Bugsy fight. We should be able to win this. We've got +4 on Rage, and we've got +1 on the attack stat itself. So I think, yeah, we win this, no problem. Now, that being said, we're actually going to do one of the most important menus in a bit. That's setting up for the next rival fight. The rival fight coming up is really, really scary. He's got a Bayleaf, and Bayleaf has Razor Leaf, and Razor Leaf has an increased crit chance. Okay, this is an important strat, by the way, it's don't touch any buttons. Because if you cancel this evolution, it's run over. Very, very important not to touch a button there. Okay, we evolved into Crocodile.
No, we don't.
So yeah, we get Fury Cutter, and Fury Cutter, being a bug-type move, is actually really powerful against the next rival fight. Basically, what I need to win is to not get crit by Bayleaf. And it should be pretty free, but it is, like I said, he does have an increased crit chance, so odds are it can happen, and it's happened many, many times. This is probably the fight that killed the most runs in the game. It's not per se the most annoying one, because the last fight of the game, glitchless at least, can waste like 2 minutes no problem. But in terms of actually dying, the upcoming fight is probably one of the worst, or if not the worst. Let's go. So this is Rival 2. This is, oh god, here we go. This guy's got 3 pokes. He's got a Ghastly as a lead. He's got, that's why we have the Paracure, in case Ghastly would lick me and paralyze me. We've got Bayleaf as his second, and then a Zubat as third. The Zubat could confuse me, but generally at that point, we're pretty much gonna be fine regardless. Okay, I have a full heal in case he would actually hit with a Hypnosis. That's why I picked up the full heal earlier. So yeah, this is the Bayleaf. This is a fun fight. Now, because Fury Cutter is super effective, we actually get a very special effect on it. Poison Powder is fantastic. Instead of doubling the attack, like with Rage, it quadruples the attack. So we 3-shot this Bayleaf. That is the hardest poke in the game, not gonna lie. And then we finish off with the Zubat. Now the Zubat can still troll you. Oh, that is close. I don't think a crit ever kills. But you know, it's still, that was close. It does make it a two-turn fight. That was a really good rival. if I don't mess up and if I get first try boxes, then this might actually be PB pace right now. Which, I mean, I haven't practiced boxes in 2 weeks because I wasn't expecting to run this in the marathon, but, you know, a man can dream. So yeah, here in Elex Forest, the path is blocked off by that little tree over there. And the only way we're gonna get cut is by bringing back the Farfetch'd to the owner. So we're gonna do just that. We're actually gonna first have to push him back a bit, and then when we move over here, we can push him back to the trainer. So yeah, we're basically scaring that bird into going back to its owner. I mean, it did run away, so there's that. So we get cut. Let's see, teach cut. So normally we'd have to get a cut slave at some point, but because it's not gonna go on very much or much longer, we're gonna just teach cut to my my Totodile here. I'm gonna use another repel because ours just wore out, and use cut immediately. And with that, we're very much closing in on the end, because we're actually going to be entering the last town already. We're gonna be finishing off pretty much in the next town. I am gonna have to do like 5 minutes of setting up and all that stuff, but we're definitely nearing the end here. Now it's just a matter of not messing up box names, which can be tricky, and then hoping to get the 67% first try. 5101. And that was actually, that 5101, interestingly enough, was on my very first run of this category. But I ran glitchless, so except for this last 5 minutes, everything I already knew. I did, like, this is where I generally save a lot of time on my PB, though. Okay. So I gotta actually pick up some X items here. We need a total of 13 X items, because our happiness isn't high enough yet to get return. That's why we needed that extra level up that I mentioned. So we're gonna get 6 of those, and we're gonna get 7 of those. Now, I could just get 13 X specials, which is what we used to do, but it's a bit slower because you get a couple extra text boxes. It saves a couple seconds to buy some X speeds as well. It's like an extra text box for the last 7 that you use, so it kind of tends to add up. Now we're gonna get up our flyer, because we always get this as our flyer. Regardless of glitchless or glitched, we get Kenya here. This guy, he asked us if we were willing to deliver a Spearow to his friend who's snoozing somewhere, but, you know, we might as well use that Spearow as our flyer, because we can. Means we won't have to catch a fly slave anymore. I don't think I need to heal up, but, you know, let's play it safe. So yeah, this guy, this is where we're gonna be doing our last bit of setting up. I need the coin case, so I need to beat this guy anyway, and since I still need to increase my happiness, we're gonna do that on this Slowpoke. So, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use all those 13 X items that I just bought on this fight. We're going to make ourselves slightly overpowered here. So we're going to get plus 6 special attack, or plus 6 special attack and defense, and plus 6 speed. We're almost done here. still need to use... So yeah, there you saw the extra text box from my special attack won't go up any further. We're gonna avoid that with all of the other ones, just to save that text box, which is why we use the X speeds rather than X specials. Okay, we're almost done with our X items. This is like our Crocodile is gonna be ridiculously overpowered after this, isn't it? Let's not use Tackle, because I think he used a couple Growls, so we're gonna use Water, or Cut, I suppose. But so we're gonna just use Water Gun instead. That's just gonna one-shot him. And it's not very effective, but we do have +6 special, so there's that. And that's the second Slowpoke down. Okay, so what I still need to do is I'm gonna get the coin case down here, and then I need to go back to the mart to get one last thing, the return TM, and then we're gonna be setting up for our final glitch. Whoops, let's use an escape rope. We can escape rope out of here. You know, it's faster than walking out, saves a couple seconds. Thank you, guy, for standing in my way like that. NPCs tend to do that every now and then. So yeah, we're gonna have to move to the 5th floor. Get return. And once we have return, we can move on to finish up the run. Now, this last bit, I'm gonna have to do some box renaming. I'm gonna have to really focus on that because I have not been... Since I was a last-minute replacement, this is one of those things that I haven't practiced today. I should be fine, but I'll take it a bit slow there, just to make sure I don't make a mistake. So yeah, this is box renaming. We're basically gonna set up for some arbitrary code execution here. No, box 2. P5. This has a meaning, trust me. This has its purpose. V, comma, V, E, 7, 2, L. Nail sign. E, comma, 2, P, I believe. Nail to apostrophe V. Am I doing that right? To apostrophe V 9E22. Yeah, that should be correct. 6 is apostrophe V 8 EE4 VTL 7 VEE 4. Yeah, I have this written down obviously because I cannot remember these things and I don't intend on doing so. There's 7 we need to rename because we don't rename the first one. So the 8th box, this is the last one. E D 2 E Z cross apostrophe D. So the last box, you can actually do a shorter name for that, but I'm not gonna be bothering because it's faster, but it's not as interesting to look at. Basically, otherwise the credits would soft lock, and because of not doing that, the credits will just run normally. Give sweet send to Whooper. time is coming up fairly shortly, so somebody might want to get ready with that. Switch that for that. Move that for that. Okay, so now I'm gonna do a safety save here. There is a 2 out of 3 chance this will work first try. If it does, it might very well be PB. It should be... no, hold on, that... I don't think that matters, but... Bells... So we're gonna flash Bellsprout. That is kind of unfortunate. That is kind of unfortunate. We are gonna get to see some wonky colors, though. I believe I switched for Kenya. So yeah, that's a 1 in 3 to happen. It's not uncommon. Okay, get ready on time. Time. That's PB. Dude, nice. That's a PB by a good half a minute. That was so that was Pokemon Gold. We just beat Red. Basically, what I did there at the end is I coded in the box names, which is linked to the to the coin case. So when I flashed the Sprout, it called up the cry of Bellsprout, and then used the coin case to add it, or to access the codes I wrote in on the Pokemon boxes, which made me warp to the hall of, or to the spot where Red is, and make sure that I think neither of us have any Pokemon in our party, because of which I win by default. So yeah, that is both a PB and that is Pokemon Gold. I'm not completely sure who's on next, but Blitzbreaker. We are pretty significantly ahead of schedule because of this. True. I mean, we've got our Elkid, I never know how to pronounce it. We've got them all dancing on screen for us, and in blue for that. So since we have some additional time, I will show you where I end up after these credits. Because, I mean, you would imagine we would just go back to Goldenrod, or we would be right before Red. Now, we're actually going to end up right before Red himself, or the last center before Red, before the last tunnel. And not only that, but we'll not have any Pokemon anymore. I'll show that off in a little bit. It's actually pretty interesting to see. So yeah, that was. So yeah, here you see. I'm invisible, by the way, because reasons. We did 50 minutes in game time. You can see here we can't access the Pokédex. We don't have I can actually get my sprite back, I believe, but I think I have to reset for that. So yeah, normally had I not done those, it's like the last 4 digits of the box 8 code. If I had them the fastest way, I would have soft locked in the credits. So yeah, here we are. This is just before it. Let me actually get you guys regular colors again. Because, you know, regular colors might help. So yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like. Now the cave up here, I don't even know what happens if I actually enter into a random encounter here. But yeah, you can see we normally have to navigate through that in the dark. That's what happens on random encounters. I didn't even know. That's pretty hilarious, actually. Yeah. That is fantastic. So yeah, that's what happens on random encounters. So we're pretty much free to go here. I didn't actually pick up the bike, so there's that, but I guess we instantly win every fight right now. Am I locked? Yeah, I'm locked in here because you're not supposed to be able... Here, you'll see scary, strong Pokemon out there. Yeah, we definitely saw that just now. Let me actually set my settings back because I didn't...
That takes too long to set up.
So yeah, that's... I really don't...
Well, we could. But I'm so bad.
How far ahead actually are we?
Played it